Hello, I'm the X and this is Seed Sunday, the weekly series I run on my channel where I show you seeds which I think you'll want to check out for Minecraft on the consoles. And this week's seed is one I think you're going to want to check out for a few reasons, the biggest of which being the fact that it has a spruce village next to spawn. And this was sent in with the kind of thing of like, oh yeah, there's a spruce village near spawn, and this is something I've been struggling with for quite some time, but as you can see, there is a spruce village literally 5 blocks from spawn, so pretty darn close to spawn, and it's also a really big one that goes over a hill. But the other thing about the seed that makes it really cool is the fact that if you play on Xbox 360 or PS3, this is basically like an amplified world, in terms of the amount of height and stuff it has, despite not being amplified and despite being able to be played on the Xbox 360 and PS3. So yeah, lots of things I think you'll like about this seed. I'll be showing you them all in today's video. Hopefully you'll do enjoy it, like you do, because that helps out the channel, and let us know you do like this sort of seed. Anyway, like I said, this was sent in through the comments of last week, and it was from Dark Angel, so big thank to them, and the seed is going to be on screen right now. It's a big number, so you type in that giant big number on screen right now, and you're going to spawn over here, somewhere in this spruce forest, maybe closer towards the, maybe close to the village. I've actually spawned on the village a few times, which is kind of a nice little thing, and yeah, obviously the first thing you're going to want to check out is this spruce village. So yeah, spruce villages, like I mentioned before, they're the rarest type of village, and having one so close to spawn is additionally very rare, so I thought this was pretty cool by itself, but it's also a very interesting village just in the structure of itself, because as you can see right here, kind of goes over to here and then connects up with the back of this house, but then there's another bit over here for some reason that doesn't really connect up with anything, like it's just a random pathway through nothing, and the reason behind that is because we've just got a very bizarre bit of terrain that's trying to generate the village next to it. So you have a floating well over here, for instance, which has dirt going through some of it. You have the the tallest church I've ever seen, like it goes all the way up to here from the ground, and then it also just goes into the mountain and actually curves round to the same pathway from before, which I find to be very, very intriguing. Actually, here, there we go. It curves down to the same pathway from before, which is very, very intriguing. But as well as just being interesting because it has like lots of crazy buildings and it's rare and made from spruce, you can also see that you're going to get yourself a bunch of food, a bunch of stuff like that, and also 3 bits of iron ingots and an iron chest plate, which is just a nice little bonus for doing essentially nothing besides walking up a hill. I mean, admittedly, it's a pretty steep hill, and it's littered with all these broken trees because they changed the village generation algorithm. So, around the buildings, it will only generate air blocks, which means you now have this weird thing where, like, certain trees cut themselves off over here, or, like, certain trees are only floating slightly above it. It's very, very bizarre, but it's something you can experience in several points of the village, which might be something you enjoy, like having floating trees. I don't know, but that's something I think is kind of weird. Also, while we're here, because villages are cool, and you should... Oh, look at this one over here, by the way. Like, just a random single block of wood that I think might got burnt down by the blacksmith. But yeah, also, we look around here, you can see there is, in fact, beetroot, which is always a nice thing to find. Beetroot's the rarest of the crops, and you've got some up here, which admittedly is actually kind of tricky to get to. Like, you're probably going to have to walk around this thing. But still, this village at spawn provides a lot of stuff, and that is just the spawn area, like I mentioned. So, yeah, as I said before, the seed is very, very amplified because it has lots of extreme hills biomes, and the cool thing about those extreme hills is they're not all lame. Let me show you a lame example, because there is one just over here next to a bunch of forest. This is kind of a lame extreme hills. I mean, you wouldn't even call this extreme, would you? This is just one big hill. However, if we look on this side of the map instead, and behind the village and stuff, you can see how these hills get up quite high, again, for the console, where for some reason the mountains are kind of limited, but as you can see, they go up quite high this way. But also, if we then go back behind the spawn, so again, you've got like 2 directions you can go from spawn. There's mountain way and there's village way. If we go mountain way instead, you can see how just looking around this entire thing, there's like a bunch of floating blocks. There's these pillars that look kind of like the Mesa Bryce pillars, in terms of their shape, I should say. And just in general, there's lots of mountains, which I feel like make this map perfect for UHC, if you want to do the UHC amplified thing, but you don't necessarily, if you're playing on the 360 PS3, what are you going to do? I think you're going to play this map, because, UHC of mountains involved gets really, really interesting when you're in the hunting each other phase, because if you can, being on top of one of these mountains gives you so much vision over the rest of the world, and you can't really be snuck up upon from this point unless they know where you are on the map or something, which I think makes it a really great little thing. So yeah, there's a bunch of mountains all over this map for vision, so just show you a few of them. Again, the one I was just on over here, but then if we just like scroll around the thing, you can see how there's loads of like secluded mountains, all of which give you good vision over certain key parts of the map. So again, if you want to just do a regular UHC, that's valuable, but also I feel like you could build some giant epic grand scale map from this, and the number of mountains just create a layer of strategy that you don't necessarily see on every other map, because they're just everywhere on this map, which is pretty darn cool. Anyway, as well as just being pretty cool because there's a bunch of mountains, there's also this really flat plains right here. So this is one of the larger flat plains I've seen since the update. Obviously, they're less common now, and as you can see, there's this giant area right here. So it goes from all the way up to here, all the way to this large area right here. As you can see, giant plains. There's a little bit of a water thing that you have to patch up over here, but then it also scrolls all the way up to here, around the mountain and onto the other side, which I just think is, it's crossed into a swamp for a bit too, which I just think is a perfect place to settle down and start if you want to build. If you want, if you want this seed for the Spruce Village and you're wondering where you should go next. I think right over here is a good decision because not only is it a really flat plains that could be, leveled in 5-10 minutes or something like that, but also there is just next to that, there is this thing over here. So go to these coordinates right here and dig down, and you'll find yourself something pretty cool because it is the stronghold. So the stronghold itself, not really actually too notable. Like, I found a few weird things like, oh, look at this. When you dig through the wall, this is just all stone before, you find yourself another part of the stronghold. Ooh, so suspicious. Look, now we're in the different part of it. But yeah, if that's not your thing, wait, is that the end of the other thing over there? No, but yeah, assuming that's not your thing, one thing that will be your thing is if you go to the coordinates I just mentioned. So again, they're on screen a second ago. Right over here, you mine down from here. You'll find not just one library, but you'll find two libraries literally connected to each other. It's a double library, and also they're like in caves by themselves, which is kind of wacky. And both of these libraries contain chests with, two chests I should say, both with enchantments. So we got efficiency 4, protection 3, but then in this chest over here, we've got, how many books is this? Like 7, so yeah, that's 7. We've got ourselves projectile protection, unbreaking, we've got sharpness and protection, we got power, we got depth strider, which is a good one to have, and then we've got smite and protection, but as well as just having, that 8 enchanted books for one of them. The second one is one that I think is even better because it has less enchanted books, but one of those enchanted books is Frostwalker 2. That's right, you can get Frostwalker without any of the fishing pain, any of the trading pain, just for free by going to this place over here, which I think is a really nice little thing, in addition to, of course, efficiency and unbreaking, and also there should be one over here, there's 2 over here, which is blast protection and knockback and unbreaking. So many enchantments, literally every enchantment you could possibly want, which is great for something you get for free just for mining down into a stronghold. Not even that far into a stronghold, like literally 30 blocks down, and suddenly you've got yourself like a whole horde of enchantments, which I think is pretty darn cool, and it's found over here. So yeah, the rest of the seed, I think honestly, as far as like, the crazy interesting stuff, most of it is just forest, which to me is like kind of dull and mundane, like to get through. Like going through this is kind of going to be kind of painful, but to me that kind of signifies then that, oh yeah, you can make it a project to either deforest the entire map and get, some bizarre unique terrain, or you could just leave it as like oh yeah, why don't we build over it and just ignore it? Kind of like having a jungle based map, except it's all like foresty stuff, because again, I just feel like none of this is really worth exploring besides the really cool plains over here, the really cool mountains in between. Like, this is a cool biome to go through, but the forests which you'll find in between certain places, they're a little bit dull, and I'll warn you right now that assuming they're not your thing, which they're not my thing, what you might want to do is kind of stick to the edges. Oh, also, there's this giant lava pit over here, probably worth checking out, and also in the bottom left, I should say, corner, so the southwest corner of the map, there's this rather interesting little mesa biome, which might seem like it's, entirely pointless because of how flat it is. However, there's a cave just over here, because there's like so many rivers across this map. It's such a watery map, like even from this, I really love this, by the way, like pouring into the river, but yeah, it's such a watery map, and the river ends at this cave right here, which is a perfect little coincidence, and if you go into the cave, then you'll be able to find yourself some gold, because obviously, if you go down into this way, it eventually leads itself into the, the mesa biome, so you find gold. If you look around here, I only found like 1 or 2 patches when I looked, but maybe if you look, you'll find yourself some more, and I just think it's always cool when you find a cave system below one of these, because when you're looking for gold, you want to find lots of gold, not just 1 bit or 2 bits, but instead you want to find like, 8, 12, 20, 40, how many golden apples you need, and again, that just kind of cements this as a UHC seed, in my opinion. So yeah, that is this week's Seed Sunday. It's got a lot of extreme hills in some very cool places, and in some very cool ways, like this one over here. It's got a really big spruce village next to spawn, with a blacksmith, with beetroot, with all the things you actually need from a village, and it's also got some, very wacky free loot to be found across the map in various places. But anyway, that brings me to the end of Seed Sunday. I hope you did all enjoy it. Like it if you did like it, because it helps out the channel a lot. Let us know you do like the Seed Sunday, share who really likes it, and subscribe if you're new around here, because I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if subscribed, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.